The Entertainment Community Fund proudly presents Women Having Their Say. The feminine voice in poetry. From ancient Greece to postmodern America. Conceived and directed by Jennifer Sharon Stock. Jennifer, congratulations. Tell me about this beautiful project.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate it very much. I had an idea that people hadn't been recognizing all the female artists, starting with the painters and the poets and the playwrights and stuff, and it looked like the men made it look like women hadn't been doing anything. And as my introduction in the program says, that they led us to believe the only poets were Sappho and Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Well, guess what? You research and you start finding out women have been producing plays, creating all sorts of things, poetry, painting, architecture, the whole 9 yards for millenniums. And so now when I researched, I found so many poets, I couldn't even include everyone. And we're doing a reading of about 30 different poems tonight, starting with Sappho, and not quite ending up with Amanda Gorman. There's a surprise. I have a wonderful cast, people that you've seen before here who are part of the senior project here. LAUREL, LOCKHART, who we've seen in many, many things. We have Frances ELDRED, our elder stateswoman, so to speak. Sue BRINNITZER, who is a newer member. And I have ANGELINE BUTLER, who was also with us for a long time, also a professor at John Jay. And I have someone who's not a member, but a lovely actress called CARLA, and she was with me in Vagina Monologue.
Email, if they want to write to you.
Oh, my email is gesto1@hotmail.com. That's JESTO1@hotmail.com.
Dorothy Parker, American, 1893 to 1967. Ballad of Unfortunate Mammals. Love is sharper than stones or sticks, lone as the sea and deeper blue, loud in the night as a clock that ticks, longer lived than the wandering Jew. Show me a love was done and through, tell me a kiss escaped its debt. Son, to your death you'll pay your due. Women and elephants never forget. Ever a man, alas, would mix, ever a man, hey-oh, must woo. So he's left in the world old fix, thus is furthered the sale of rue. Son, your chances are thin and few. Won't you ponder before you're set? Shoot if you must, but hold in view. Women and elephants never forget. Down from Caesar past Joints and Hicks echoes the warning ever new. Though they're trained to amusing tricks, gentler they than the pigeons coo. Careful, son, of the cursed two. Either one is a dangerous pet. Natural history proves it true. Women and elephants never forget. L'Envoi. Prince, a precept I'd leave for you, coined in Eden, existing yet. Skirt the parlor and shun the zoo. Women and elephants never forget.
Maya Angelou, American, 1928 to 2014. I know why the cage bird sings. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The cage bird sings with a fearful thrill of things unknown but longed for still. And his tune is heard in the distant hill, for the cage bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the cyan trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied. So he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful thrill of things unknown, but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Edna St. Vincent Millay, American, 1892 to 1950. Dirge without music. I am not resigned to the shutting away of loving hearts in the hard ground. So it is, and so it will be, for so it has been, time out of mind. Into the darkness they go, the wise and the lovely, crowned with lilies and with laurel they go. But I am not resigned. Lovers and thinkers, into the earth with you. Be one with the dull, the indiscriminate dust, a fragment of what you felt, of what you knew. A formula, a phrase remains, that the best is lost. The answers quick and keen, the honest look, the laughter, the love, they are gone. They are gone to feed the roses. Elegant and curled is the blossom, fragrant is the blossom. I know, but I do not approve. More precious was the light in your eyes than all the roses in all the world. Down, down, down into the darkness of the grave. Gently they go, the beautiful, the tender, the kind. Quietly they go, the intelligent, the witty, the brave. I know, but I do not approve, and I am not resigned.
Jennifer Sharon Stock, American, 1948 to present. For the snow goose. Like a wanton child tossing careless matches into the air, I, with my hapless words, have scorched the feathers of your soul. The fresh burn, marring your fragile wings, makes your spirit smart in the harsh aftersmoke of the unexpected hurt. Branded by your pain, I weep as I can no longer come near enough to soothe the fire-singed plumes of a sacred trust now broken. Moving through the skies, you fly now low and stately on damaged wings. Quietly, beautiful in the milk-streaked light of the moon. I, earthbound, watch you in hushed wonder and can only long to be the balm to mend your injured feather. No longer a child, the charred remains of my words drop to the ground in chastened silence, and my own wings ache as my brow is brushed by the passing of your shadow. I lean into the wake of your aura, hoping one day to fly by your side.
Angeline Butler, American, 1941 to present. A trilogy, 3 women. This poem is dedicated to 3 African American women who changed history. Miss Septima Poinsett Clark of the Citizenship Schools of Charleston, Miss Rosa Parks of Montgomery Bus Boycotts, and Miss Rachel Annetta Robinson of the Jackie Robinson Foundation, a trilogy by Angeline Butler. I am Angeline Butler. Septima Poinsett Clark told this story. There was a time not long ago when little black children were not taught, and people of African descent in America by law could not learn to read or to write. They kept them ignorant about books by keeping them slaving in the fields, slaves in their household, nursing their children, working on buildings in town that they didn't admit them as a people. It was against the black codes. Want to be nice to a slave? Sneak and teach them to read and to write. And some little white friends were made. Some would teach their little friends to read. If caught, there was time in jail, $500 fine, and the risk of being sold as a chattel slave. Great day in the morning. The emancipation came. Lincoln was our hero. We stepped out of enslavement, the Freedmen's Bureau at the helm. Septima's father was a slave. He forced his children to go to school. They didn't want to go to school. They loved playing around the house. He made them go to the mission school. They taught plenty of religion too. And when she was little, and then a little bit older and a teacher herself, so many people she found could not read or write their own names. Who, she wondered, was teaching the adults? Nobody. And that meant we as a people were considered dumbbells. Though we had the basic Bill of Rights, we couldn't read, we couldn't vote. As she watched her people, a voice arose within her saying, "Come, come with me." And she turned to others and said, "We'll find a way." And on John's Island, she took a brown paper bag, nailed it to a wall in the back room of an old grocery store. She began writing the ABCs, letter for letter, until it spelled the word Jesus, God, prayer, and words to a song, "Little David, play on your harp." It was a crowd of 11 people. She asked, "Do you understand?" They shook their heads. Their faces lit up like burning candles. With pencils and brown paper bags, they drew each letter she wrote and said it aloud, word for word. The citizenship schools were on their way. They grew to 2,000 teachers, helped by the Highlander Folk School. All over the South, they worked in secret. The days came in the 1960s. Massive numbers of people registered to vote and began to run for office in America. And then we had the Voting Rights Act.
Now, Sister Rosa was secretary of the NAACP, a seamstress by day, a wife and mother by night. She worked hard and was tired. One day on her way home, she took the public bus. She bought her ticket from the driver in the front of the bus, then walked back outside to enter the back door on the side. Sat in the colored section by the window. The bus filled up. The bus driver came to the back and asked that she give up her seat. She looked at him in disbelief as he showed her a young white man whom the driver wanted to take her seat. She was tired and she said no. He said, "Woman, if you don't give me that seat, I'm calling the police and I'll have you put in jail." She looked at him long and hard. Then Rosa said, "You may do that." They arrested Mrs. Parks and a revolution began. Martin Luther King Jr., only 27 years old, elected speaker by the NAACP's E.D. Nixon, called for a boycott. After walking 381 days appealing to the Supreme Court, Attorney Fred Gray's and Thurgood Marshall's helping, the Montgomery Negro Improvement Association won the day.
There's one in a wheelchair, prettier than a bee. That's Rachel. She's alert, smiling, and excited. Her accomplishments are visible and she can still see. Over 2,000 youths sent to school who struggled the 4 years to get through the inequities, the hardships, the difficulties of their families and school. They've graduated college, proud of their accomplishments in a world that is complicated, where there is no golden rule. They're off to a great start. Their journey will be one of dreams. They have a pillar of faith behind them that has changed their directions. They're now the extended families, excelling when optimism was almost gone. The Jackie Robinson Foundation they will always remember. Rachel's smile at 101 years, her inner joy, and her smile in their hearts, her humility in their presence, her investment in their future has brought hope for a new future. Optimism is born again.
For this blessings of all seasons, it says, I love you, I believe in you. Now go out and lead the world.
Marge Percy, American, 1936 to the present. I will choose. I will choose what enters me, what becomes of my flesh. Without choice, no politics, no ethics lives.
I am not your cornfield, not your uranium mine, not your calf for fattening, not your cow for milking.
You may not use me as your factory. Priests and legislators do not hold shares in my womb or my mind. This is my body. If I give it to you, I want it back. My life is a non-negotiable demand.
Amanda Gorman, 1996 to present, Poet Laureate, USA. The hill we climb. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade.
We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. And the norms and notions of just what just isn't always justice.
And yet the dawn is ours. Before we knew it, somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished.
We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one.
Yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine.
But that doesn't mean that we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man.
And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us.
We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another.
We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious.
Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them
We are
afraid.
to live up to our own times, then victory won't lie in a blade.
But in all the bridges we've made, that is the promise to Glade. The hill we climb, if only we dare, it's because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we prepare it.
We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it.
Would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy.
And this effort very nearly succeeded.
But while democracy can periodically be delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth is our faith we trust.
For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption we feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour. But within it, we found the power to offer a new chapter.
To offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe?
Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be.
A country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free.
We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation.
Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright.
So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left with. Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest we will raise with this wounded world into a wondrous one.
We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West.
We will rise from the windswept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution.
We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states.
We will rise from the sun-baked South.
We will rise from the We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover.
And every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country, our people diverse and beautiful will emerge, battered and beautiful.
When day comes, we step out of the shade, flame and unafraid. New dawn blooms as we free it.
For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it.
Edna Ferber, American. 1886 to 1968. This is certain. I never have written a line except to please myself. I never have written with an eye to what is called the public, or the market, or the trend, or the editor, or the reviewer. Good or bad, popular or unpopular, lasting or ephemeral. The words I have put down on paper were the best words I could summon at the time to express the thing I wanted to more than anything else to say.
Helen Reddy, Australian, American, 1941 to 2020. I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore. And I know too much to go back and pretend, 'cause I've heard it all before. And I've been down on the floor, and no one's ever gonna kick me down again.
Yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I've paid the price, but look how much I've gained. If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong.
Strong.
I am invincible.
Invincible.
I am woman.
You can bend but never break me, because it only serves to make me more determined to achieve my final goal. And I come back even stronger, not a novice any longer, because you've deepened the conviction in my soul.
Yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I've paid the price, but look how much I've gained. If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong.
Strong.
I am invincible.
Invincible.
I am woman.
I am woman, watch me grow. See me standing toe to toe as I spread my loving arms across the land. But I'm still a little embryo with such a long, long way to go until I make my brother understand.
Oh, yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain.
Yes, I've paid the price, but look how much I've gained.
If I have to, I can face anything. I am strong.
Strong.
I am invincible.
Invincible. I am woman.
I am woman.
I am invincible.
I am strong.
I am woman.
I am invincible.
I am strong.
I am woman.
I